All right, here we go. Week 8. First time I'm doing power rankings in back-to-back weeks. But I'm watching the World Series and just chilling right now. So figured I'd take a look here. I don't have any super advanced analytics to look at this week, but I noticed some cool numbers that we can take a look at. So um, yeah, let's just jump into the power rankings. No real suspense this week, and no real change up at the top of the board. So shouldn't be any huge surprise. I think the top 4 teams from last week all won this week and had decent scores. Um, so it was pretty easy to look at. Um, yeah, Travis had a high score. That's what I thought. Just double checking. So Travis stays in first. I was scrolling back through the power rankings I have done. He has only been first the entire year, including my draft rankings. So yeah, Travis is just like running the season. I don't know if it's quite as dominant as what Andrew did last year, but his team like has not wavered. I don't even think they've had like a down week where he like got lucky. Um, yeah, just solid week in week out. Then we have Carl and Chris, and I think they're both pretty safe, not just from wins, but both just like being very high scoring teams. Then my team slots in at 4 still. Got the win this week, thankfully. Another close game for me. Still feels weird to be in 4th because I feel like my team is like, I don't know, it's shaky, but I've got some cool numbers I can point out about my team. Then we step down into the teams that are like on the bubble, I would say. So that would be Caleb, Matt, and he's slotting in between Caleb and Andrew. So I'll kind of talk through my thinking on these rankings in the middle. Then we kind of have like the dreamers here, Mark and John. So they're not out of it yet, but they're probably going to need a little bit of help. Then we have Logan, who's tumbling down the board a little bit, and then Scotty, who's really fallen, and then Trond is still pulling up the rear. I think his team is actually improving, but I think it's just going to be like too late for him to do anything. So, yeah, Tron brings up the rear. I didn't put down any like major like adds or losses in terms of players coming or going from rosters, but I did kind of consider those in some of my rankings. So yeah, we'll just like jump through. Like I said, nothing really extensive this week. Been crazy busy with work, but we'll go ahead and jump into things here. So we'll go ahead and look at Trond and Mark's roster first and how their week went. Trond finally got the sort of scores that he was probably expecting all year. Saquon finally has a great game. Brees Hall finally has a great game, and that crazy, who did they beat, like the Bears or something this week? Or no, the Bengals, sorry. Big game for the Jets. Good for Brees Hall. Overall, I mean, good score here from Tron, just like riding on Daniel Jones and Barkley and Hall, right? Pittman even has a good game. Tron's team is really not that bad, and I think I actually had them decently high in the draft. And what I like the most about what Tron did this week is he actually like turned over his roster to dump some. I think he just dropped Mark Andrews, and he was starting like a tight end in his flex, just like way too. I think he still might be holding multiple quarterbacks, but even his bench, right? Like Brock Bowers is practicing again. JMO should be back hopefully. He does have some players. I think he's just waited too long to stock up on depth. So even if his starters are starting to turn things on here in the second half, he's just like dug himself too deep of a hole carrying like 4 defenses all year. So go ruin some seasons, Tron, but I don't know if there's really time to make much noise. Then we have Mark, who, rough. He had been high, and it's kind of fallen off. I do still think there's pieces here that could possibly, if things shake out right, like I said, kind of a outside looking in right now to me. But he does have some pieces here that could get better, I would say. Josh Allen is doing his thing, but like Kamir DK, or however you say this dude's name, he's stepping up as a starter for the Titans. Debo had a stinker of a game, but he should be getting back Jaden Daniels soon. Tucker Kraft is emerging as like maybe the tight end one in fantasy this year. Amon-Ra and Puka, Puka has been injured. So like it's not the most talent loaded roster, by any means, but like there are players on this roster still who could push Mark if things kind of break the right way. He's definitely not out of it. So good for him. And then we're gonna jump into Andrew and John here. Andrew finally gets a win. John did not give it to him easily. He's still over 100, but Andrew's team just scoring consistently. JT goes off again. This dude's going to break LaDainian Tomlinson's touchdown record maybe. I think he's actually on pace to do that, score 30 touchdowns or something this year. He finally has Kittle back. Devontae Smith could get a bigger role if I know A.J. Brown has been dinged up a little bit. I guess Pacheco did get hurt in their game, but still a solid roster here that could get Andrew to squeeze into the playoffs. He does, like I was saying last week, all he really needs to do is score points. So I think he has a roster that can do that. It is a little bit risky that he has, how often is Jonathan Taylor going to score 3 touchdowns a game? It feels like it's almost automatic at this point, but I feel like that's a huge ask to ride out a season doing that. So definitely still in the hunt, very possible. I have him right here on the bubble, like I said. Just keep posting points. And then John's kind of right there with him, I guess, or maybe just a little bit a tick down. He also, Patty Mahomes might win the MVP this year. Zach Ertz should also get a bump from Jaden Daniels coming back. I think Rico Dowdle's about to take over the backfield in Carolina. He's just too good for them to try and do this stupid splitting carry thing that they're trying to do. And then A.J. Brown, he's dinged up, but if he can come back and perform the way he was before he went out the last couple weeks, I think they're, things could be looking up for John's team. The down thing for John here, though, is that he's one of only 2 teams that's still under 800 points. The saving grace is that he does have the 4 wins, so he's gotten a little bit lucky. But basically, I think what John needs to happen is kind of the opposite of Andrew, actually, where he's got a lot of ground to make up points-wise, but if his team can start churning out wins on a regular basis, he's really only 1 game out of, 4th place in terms of wins right now, right? He's 1 game out of the playoffs. So I think he's kind of in the opposite of Andrew, who just needs points. John just needs wins. Now, if he can score a lot, that'd be great, but that's really what I'll be looking for John as we go through the rest of the year. Then we have Carl's team. Carl's team is just stacked, and I feel like they're even going to get better somehow. Christian McCaffrey has a down week, and he still gets a win. Carl's team does. Jamar Chase, he might also take a ding, actually, with Flacco going out, right? I don't know how long Burrow is supposed to be. Oh, he's not coming back for another 6 weeks. Yeah, that's tough. I don't know if Jamar had any great games with Jake Browning, but he might have to endure a little bit here. Carl picks up Gadsden. That's going to pay off. Igbuka, the Bucs just had a bad week. He'll be fine. But Carl's going to get back Jaden Daniels. He picked up Kyle Monangai on the upswing. But then probably the biggest thing that Carl did, his strategy of just blow off, defenses and tight ends until the last minute to carry as many running backs as I can. It kind of paid off, right? He got Tyrone Tracy after Scatterboo got hurt, and I think Tyrone Tracy would have maxed out some people's remaining fab dollars. So Carl gets, not a free starting running back, because he did, implement this strategy of just loading up his bench with RBs. But definitely could, the strategy paid off, basically, at least in theory. We'll see in practice how much Tyrone Tracy helps his team. But it's not a bad thing for sure. Scotty's team, this is just rough, man. It's tumbling, and honestly, it's hard for me to see the upside in this roster. Definitely, obviously, a worse than expected result for the players on this team. But just even the fact that we're starting Algier and Bijan at the same time means that unless you're just like the biggest believer ever in the Falcons offense, like starting both running backs is just like never ideal, at least in my opinion. Um, but that being said, there are, I guess, some upsides. JJ McCarthy's coming back for the Vikings, which sounds like it shouldn't be that good, but with how poorly Wentz has played, that like it might actually uptick. Jefferson, and if Scotty sticks with T.J. Hawkinson, if you didn't already drop him this week. Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. Yeah, and then Zay Flowers, like I said, Lamar should be coming back. So, and then we've got the bench guys. Ken Walker and Matt Stafford's having a great year too. So this team isn't dead in the water, but it's like I don't see the huge upside. I think Quentin Johnson might be dead in the water. So he's losing a great upside player from the start of the year. But I mean, yeah, like just keep hammering away, blow the rest of your fab on the next great running back that comes out, and like hope for the best. But we're getting into like dire situation here for Scotty's team, unfortunately. Next up, let's look at Caleb and Cram's. Cram's team is just like rolling at this point. I really don't have any notes on this one, I don't think. McLaurin does come back for one game, this mid-ass receiver. One great year in his career. Just totally mids. And he's out. Who knows when he'll be back, so that's kind of a bummer. But the rest of his team is so good, honestly, that, and he has Lamar coming back as well. Aaron Rodgers has been a good fill-in. And the rest of this team is just solid. I mean, there's really not much to worry about, in my opinion. So yeah, good job, Crams. I think you're in a great spot. Then we have Caleb. Yeah, Caleb's one of these roster bubble teams, or these just like right there on the edge, I guess. Bo Nix having a fantastic year. CD seems to be back and healthy. That's awesome for him. How did Jake Ferguson only get one target? Did he get hurt or something? That's pretty mind-blowing from his normal 7 targets a game. I mean, overall solid roster here from Caleb. There's really, again, not too many notes I have. Just putting up consistent points. JSN, Kyron advised this week. Just keep like putting up points, putting up wins, and I think you're also in a pretty good spot. Yeah, first team out of the top 4 with the highest score. So, hopefully comfortably in 5th place for the time being anyway. And I was looking, I feel like there was a drop-off. So we have Caleb at 846, Andrew at 840, and then there was a bit of a drop down. I think Logan is the next highest outside of those top guys, and he's not even to 820. So, there's like a 20-point difference. I mean, there's still, 6 weeks left? Like, that could be nothing. But I'd rather be up 20 points than not. So, I think Caleb is in a decent spot here. Let's keep it going here. Logan and Travis. Logan took a dip down for losing Scatterboo, so he, that's a tough break to lose him for sure. He's also got a couple dinged up receivers, Drake London, Diggs, it looks like. Kelsey did have a good game. That was nice to see from the old man. Kyle Pitts, I think that might have been his first start of the year for Logan's team. And then Devontae's on bye. I mean, like this, I don't know. This team could kind of pop off, and then I just don't see it. Like, I don't see enough missing talent here, I guess. Did he? How did he get hurt? Was he out for the game in Atlanta and Logan just started him anyway? He must have been. Yeah. I don't know what you're doing, Logan. You're too busy raising a child. Nerd. RJ Harvey, great game. 2 touchdowns. I mean, Logan's team started off hot. They're cooling down. Yeah, maybe that was also why I bumped Caleb up too, because Logan's the next closest in points, and I feel like his team is kind of trending down. The Bill hype train has significantly cooled in the last 3 weeks. Maybe that'll bounce back when Jaden Daniels comes back, but who really knows? Travis's team doing great, no notes. Chase Brown scoring 20 again. That was his first time this year scoring 20, so that's interesting. Pickens, yeah. Roma Dunze, yeah. I mean, again, no notes. Good team. Jahmyr Gibbs on bye. Trey McBride on bye. Oh, then he gets a free starting running back, it looks like, with Bam Knight. I think the Cardinals cut Michael Carter and re-signed him or something, so I don't think Bam Knight's going to be a league winner for you, but yeah, a starting running back is always good to have. So, and then to top it all off, the Buffalo defense with a 17 spot, just crazy. Yeah, Travis is going to keep being in first place probably all the way to the end of the playoffs. One interesting thing, one of the cool numbers that I mentioned, Logan's team, right? So I was looking through our transaction log, and just seeing it's always just fun to check out who's doing what, right? So we have Carl, who's got 59 transactions this year, 39 of those, right? He's just prolific. Most of us, Travis with 18, Tron with 16. Andrew's always a little bit low, I feel like, 10. Scotty at 10. K-Mans has 30. He's been making moves. I'm at 14, so 1 or 2 a week. From the beginning of the season, right? From the beginning of the draft, Logan has made 1 free agent pickup. He dropped Adam Thielen for the Colts, and this was in week 5 or something. This is the only transaction. This team, I don't know if he's just gotten. I'm not keeping total tabs on his team. I don't know if he's just gotten lucky with the injuries and whatnot, but yeah, he's going to have to make a move now, I guess, with Scatterboo going out. But yeah, just wild that you can make it to basically to week 9 of the fantasy season and make 1 transaction the whole year. So good job, Logan. Yeah, I mean, I guess you did a decent job of drafting, but I also wonder if the lack of moves have, degraded your team over the course of the season. I'm just asking questions here, right? One has to wonder. Yeah, so that was a funny thing I saw. And then lastly, we'll stop it off with me and K-Man. So another couple funny numbers. Of course, I'm going to see those about my own team, right? First off, I saw that in the weekly report, I was a bit offended that Justin Herbert on K-Man's team gets the best high score quarterback, right? Cool, get your flowers, Herbo, even though you were dog shit for me for 5 weeks, and now you're suddenly posting 20, 30 point game, 25, 30 point games. Drake May and Herbo had the exact same points this week. Why did May not get the quarterback of the week? I feel like, and he overshot his projections by more. What the hell, sleeper? Yeah, but just what are the odds that our quarterbacks score the exact same? Pretty cool. As far as the rest of our rosters go, yeah, my week was basically saved by James Cook. This could have been an absolute disaster for me, but James Cook absolutely saves the day. The rest of my team honestly kind of underperformed. Yeah, Falcons defense is horrific, but I guess a decent game. Ted McMillan just needs to find the end zone, honestly. Kamara, yeah, I'm way cooled off on Kamara. He already is not. He's just not in a good situation, basically, and now Spencer Rattler's going to be benched for Tyler Show, whatever, however you say his name. So yeah, I don't know if that's going to get any better. I mean, I still have I have 1 good top running back, right? A running back 1, and then I've got 3 running back 2s, or maybe Kamara's a flex, but Judkins and Montgomery are serviceable. And then I have 5 wide receiver 2s. Losing Malik Neighbors is probably going to be what, even if I can get into the playoffs, not having a true wide receiver 1 is, it's going to cook me for the playoffs. I do have I still have a bit of depth somehow, but I just don't have the high end upside. Now, the other interesting thing, or a couple interesting things, we'll talk about K-Man's roster here. So K-Man is not currently in the playoffs based on wins or on points, right? So why did I slot him in between Caleb and Andrew? Really, the reason is that his team is good, just maybe not right now, but they are putting up points. He does have good players. Even Brashad Smith, who I was convinced was going to get enough points for him to take the win on me this week, but he fumbled on his first carry, and that kind of shot his night. But I think even he has a lot of upside, and now with Pacheco dinged up, it sounds like he might miss the next game. I feel like Brashad Smith could make a name, a space for himself. But K-Man still has, Herbert suddenly is good for him. Love that for you. Olave still is going to get heavy targets. A.O. Manor might be the new wide receiver 1 if Calvin Ridley can't bounce back from injury, because he's been dinged up. But really, it's this bench. I was scrolling through rosters, and I'm like, dude, if K-Man had his whole complement of Garrett Wilson and Omari and Hampton and Bucky Irving, and some of the, Bucky's been out for a while, right? This is a solid roster. I don't know how quickly all these guys are going to come back. Trey Benson too. This is really getting bit by the injury, the injury bug for K-Man's team. So even though they don't have, he wouldn't, I think, technically be in the playoffs if the season ended right now. But if he can get back these bench dudes within the next couple weeks, I could see him going on an absolute tear to close out the season and get into the playoffs. So I think he slots in, right here, sort of in the middle, between Caleb and Andrew, who have put up more points, but K-Man has more wins, and I feel like he just has this, he's like a sleeping giant with what's on his bench. The last thing I'll call out about this, the last just fun number that I have is I was noticed something about my team. I scored 105 this week, and I was like, man, that feels really similar to what I scored last week. So I started going back through and looking at my team's scores. I scored 105 the week before. And then in week 6, I scored 104. 0.12. Keep that number in mind. Because in week 5, I scored 104. 0.12. And then in week 4, I scored 101. And then in week 3, so I don't know what kind of witchcraft is going on here. And it's not I've had different quarterbacks. I've had, this week I had to have James Cook go off for, 200 yards and a couple touchdowns. Week 1, I had 103. Just crazy, the absolute lack of volatility, especially for, the different rosters that I've had to throw out there. I've changed tight ends, I've changed defenses, I've changed quarterbacks. I've added a good stable of running backs and receivers this year, but I just thought that was statistically significant. I'll get Scotty to maybe do a grad school assignment, but getting the exact same score in back-to-back weeks when we're going down to the hundreds feels very, some cosmic divine something going on there. That was all I had for this week. I think this is a pretty solid list. We're starting to really get into the point of the season where, we can start. I don't think anyone's officially claimed or been eliminated from playoffs, but I think, maybe I'll do the math next week, and I'm feeling like Travis is just going to keep rolling, and he's going to lock his spot in here pretty soon. And then probably Scotty and Trond will find themselves, fighting to avoid the bye week in the Sacco bracket. But most of the field is still pretty open. I mean, I could see everybody between 2 and maybe even all the way down to number 8 or 9 making noise here, right? It's a very wide range. There's one game maybe that's outside of Andrew, and he has the points advantage, right? Everyone else is separated by a game and a half between them in playoffs. So still very competitive. Should be a fun week 9. Let's do it.